then she's on her own. And then she has to sing some scale patterns. All of it has to be done in one complete take. So we can't stop the track, get her ready for the next section and so forth. So Mrs. Sellers, who couldn't be here this evening, is the technology genius that she is. So she uses our iPads and our MacBooks and creates a little station for us and records everything. And so we get a really great sound with the technology that we have available to us. Then, once we get it recorded, we send it electronically to the Indiana music educators. And there are several music teachers that listen to that recording. They listen to it individually and they rank it, and there's about 800 to 900 auditions that come through each year. So it's a tough process. Only 145 of the top singers are chosen. So it's not easy to get into the Indiana Honor Choir. Then we find out the group teachers meet, music teachers meet in November, mid-November, and they spend all day on Saturday listening to the auditions and ranking them again so that it's a fair process. Mrs. Sellers and I have both sat on those committees, so we kind of know what they're looking for, which gives us an advantage when we start preparing our students. So then, Emily gets her music, and we start working on the music to get her prepared for January. January is when we go to Fort Wayne, and she spends 2 days rehearsing with the conductor and the other 144 kids all come together, and in those 2 days they prepare a concert that's performed for the Music Educators Convention. So they're performing for their teachers. It's a pretty cool process. So she has done that for the past 2 years. So my thought after we got finished with January was, what can I offer my students to challenge them further? And that's when I found out about World Strides and the Honors Performance Series. And so we decided that we were going to give it a whirl and see what happened. So we sent Emily's Indiana Honor Choir audition to the Honors Performance Series, and she was accepted. She's accepted into both choirs, so she'll be performing in June in Carnegie Hall in New York City, and she'll be performing in London, England in late July. Wow. So it's quite an honor. And she's the very first student to be accepted into the junior honor from South Vermillion. So I'm very proud of her, and her musical skills are extraordinary. She's very deserving of these honors. But this all comes with a price tag. Quite a price tag. It's going to cost about $5,000 for the 2 trips. So we're currently involved in fundraising right now, and I was telling, this is also going to make me very proud, or it has made me very proud. I told my 8th grade choir about Emily's recent acceptance, and they immediately wanted to help. So thanks to Mrs. Harris and Mr. Williams, we're going to do a couple of fundraisers to help her in May around our spring concert at the middle school. We're going to be selling wristbands that say Emily's name and has a wild cat and some music notes on it. And then we're also going to have a cell phone day, which is a big deal for the middle schoolers. They get to have their cell phones at lunch and during study hall. And if they don't have a cell phone, then they get to wear a hat. So it's one way that we can get all the students at the middle school to kind of help her out with some fundraising. And her parents are here this evening, Hannah and Chris Taylor, and they're also doing some fundraising to help out. Hannah, do you want to talk about the t-shirts? And
yes. She's got a t-shirt on where you started a support. She's had 2, one for New York and one for London, and so of course people can sign up to have their family name or business printed on the back of her shirt. It says, "My friends have my back," on the back of it. And yeah, the expenses she mentioned are basically just the registration fees. The travel expenses are extremely high, of course. The plane ticket to London is over, it's around $1,500. So the actual cost included with her travel expenses just for her to go is, let's see here, $6,680 just for her to go. Now, of course, I'm not sending her to London or New York back to school. So one of us will have to travel with her. We're not asking you to pay for our expenses at all, you know, but any support we can get for Emily would be greatly appreciated. And we definitely appreciate the corporation here. You've cultivated her talents and just really challenged her abilities, not just her, but our other kids too. They're excelling, and we thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Are we going to hear this?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do we get to hear anything?
You can see her.
I can't believe it.
You can see her in the musical coming up. She is one of our Munchkins.
Okay.
So you'll get to see her there. And she was Chip in Beauty and the Beast if you got to go to.
Okay.
She was our Chip. So
Well, great.
very proud of her.
Wow.
And thank you.
Thank you.
for
Thank
allowing
you.
me to present.
Anybody got any questions?
All I can say is wow.
Yeah.
What an honor.
So how can we get the wristbands? Us?
Oh, absolutely. I will send them over to Mr. Chapman's office for you.
We'll make sure they're made available.
Great.
And how do you order the shirts?
And the shirts, yeah.
Well, she has it on, so if you'd like your name on it, you can email me. Oh, do they want a shirt like that?
Yeah, how do
Yeah, how do we
Shirt
go
like that? I can get those made.
I bet you can make a lot of money with the shirts.
Okay, we can sell the shirts, that's fine.
People love shirts.
Definitely.
I have enough t-shirts.
Sure.
And the choir boosters are supporting also and helping her out, and they purchase the bands so that all the profit will go directly to Emily.
Well, very good.
Awesome.
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Emily.
We'll have you back after the summer. You can come tell us all about it.
Pictures, we want to see pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. All right, so we'll close School Spotlight and move on to the rest of our agenda this evening. First of all, I need a recommendation to approve the agenda this evening.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. This now brings us to our first comments from citizens period. If anybody in the audience would like to address the board about an agenda item this evening, now would be your chance to do so. If you're interested in addressing the board, please stand and state your name for the record. Hearing no comments, we'll close citizens comment period and move to the consideration of the minutes of the regular session school board meeting held on March the 15th, 2019.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
A motion is second to approve the minutes as presented. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to finance.
I move the approval of the finance vouchers 99093 to 99242.
Second.
A motion is second to approve vouchers 99093 through 99242 as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. April's personnel report, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Ream. Members of the board, the April 2019 personnel report is provided in your packet this evening. It is a light list highlighted. We do have a couple of leave of absences for two of our teachers, Diane Kane and Brandy Wood. For your consideration, also in the packet is a change of assignment from English to Facts for Beverly Miller at South Vermillion Middle School for next year. We ask your approval of the personnel report this evening.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second to approve the personnel report as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Now, for a couple presentations this evening. First of all, Performance Services, update on the Oxygen project. Mr. Chapman.
Members of the board, I'd like to introduce you to Chris Burgine. He's project manager for our auxiliary gym project, and Chris is here tonight to give us an update on how things are going with the auxiliary gym.
Great.
Chris, all yours.
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't have a strict schedule or presentation per se. In the interest of accepting any kind of questions you guys may have. So it's your project. I'm happy to be here building this auxiliary gym, and just want to say, top level. Despite the weather, we've had a lot of challenges. Of course, we start building in spring, opening up the ground, and then it opens up and pours on us. Despite yeah, exactly. So despite the challenges, I'm happy to say we're still tracking on schedule. I'd say plus or minus a few days. We originally had steel erection scheduled for April 26th, and it'll be the 29th. So like I said, thankfully we're within a few days tracking on our schedule. So steel's in fabrication currently in Indianapolis. We have Indiana Steel and Indy Erectors will be putting it up. So we've also got concrete in the ground as of last week. So fortunately, I was on vacation last week and had superintendent filling in for me, Scott Need with Performance Services. And fortunately, he's a seasoned guy and he did a heck of a job keeping things moving. So we were able to dry out the ground. Fortunately, we had just enough sun. Kenizer Excavating has done a great job going to bat and working in when they can. And then Handed Construction out of Terre Haute has also been a really good player to have at the table working with us as well. So we'll be pouring concrete for the next week and a half to 2 weeks in preparation for the steel to deliver on the week of the 29th. And we'll be standing up steel in the gym. I told Mr. Chapman, Mark, and Micah going into this that most people would probably wonder the first month, 6 weeks, what's happening? We see holes in the ground, we see some dirt moving around, we see some pipe material laying there. Appreciate you guys excusing the mess while we work through the earth activities, the site work activities. But it does tend to seem a little monotonous while we're coming out of the ground. Once we start standing up steel, you'll see wall framing go up, the roof will be installed, we'll start to see masonry, we'll see block walls and brick walls, and it'll seem to go a lot faster at that point, but it's always kind of a grind getting out of the ground. So if anybody's curious kind of where we were and where we're going, that's what it's looking like right now. So does anybody have any questions?
Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
We'll see next month. Hopefully the rain quits.
Right. I hope so.
Something above ground.
I don't know how it goes.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on is our curriculum instruction assessment monthly report. Dr. French,
Hi, good evening.
I bet we're going to talk about mentoring tonight.
You got it.
All right.
So I have some of our mentors and our new teachers here, and we started this program last year where we find a experienced teacher who's willing and able and pair them with one of our new teachers first or second year. And then along with that, provide monthly meetings at our trainings, kind of a support group. And so Mrs. Crockett headed up those meetings, the monthly meetings this year. And she provides an agenda, and they just go through topics that are relating to them, things that might be coming up, and then just offering them a little love and support, helping to build that community. So I'm going to have a couple of our new teachers talk about their experience. But before I do that, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank our mentors. because they do this out of the goodness of their heart. There's no stipend, there's no, fame or fortune in this. They do it because they love our kids, they love our corporation, and they just, are so good to our colleagues. And so I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all that you do. It goes unnoticed most of the time, so thank you. And then I'm going to have Shannon Sonderman, 4th grade Central, just talk briefly about her experience.
Hi everyone, as she mentioned, I'm Shannon Sonderman and I teach 4th grade math and science at Central Elementary. Coming into it, this is my first year teaching, and I was very excited to hear that you guys had a mentoring program to offer so that I could work with a experienced teacher who knew what she was doing in the classroom. I could go to her in between.
Mrs. Scully?
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, thanks, Jared. And our kids transition throughout the day, so if something weird was going on, or if I was confused about something, I could chat with her in the hallway and see what maybe something that she's done in the past with that, or even just something like a clerical something at the beginning of the year, figuring out how to take attendance, all of that great stuff. She's been a great mentor for me, and we built a friendship out of it, which is really great. So I really love this program, and I'm happy that you guys offer and have it for us.
Well,
So thank you.
Thank you.
You've got a great mentor.
Yes, she does.
Hey everyone, I'm Casey Dust. I'm the new resource teacher out at Van Dyne, and kind of just mirroring a lot of what Shannon said. Just coming in knowing that there was going to be that more veteran person to ask questions for, especially with being a resource teacher. Well, I did get a great education at my undergrad. There's a lot of stuff that is not covered, especially with special ed. So having Amy to refer to answer questions I didn't even know that I had, just to go to for that support, and to just really build even more of a friendship and a bond through that. It's been phenomenal. Just the questions that are answered through the meetings that Mrs. Crockett has set up, and just kind of just the source of community that it builds through that, and kind of does remind you that we all are in this together. So it's very nice to have that, and just that nice balance of knowing that that support is there and we don't have to ask for it. You guys freely give it to us, which is very appreciated.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Fisher. I'm the 4th grade language arts and social studies teacher at Van Dyne, and I can't thank Dawn enough for everything she's done. My college background was very focused in math. I was a middle school math minor as well, so not teaching math at all was honestly really, really scary. So having Dawn there was someone that I could go to and ask questions, and I didn't feel like I was burdening her because she was assigned to me to answer my questions. Because I ask a lot of questions. Same questions even. I mean, I can't thank her enough and this program enough. It was honestly a big draw for me to come to this corporation because of this mentor program, because I knew I would be kind of lost the first year, and she's been nothing but amazing to me this entire time. I mean, I've asked every semester or grading period how to put in grades, and she answers me every time very nicely. Doesn't say, "Hey, we talked about this 9 weeks ago." So one more time. Get ready. Next. But it's been fantastic. I just can't thank this program enough for having that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh gosh.
Pressuring
I wasn't planning on saying anything. I'll keep it to one sentence, I promise. That's better. Anyway, this is kind of a proud mama moment for me, really. I learned a lot this year. It's been really fun. As a matter of fact, we had a PD after school today until 5. And then all of us went to Jerry's and ate, and then now we're here. So we're, so it's been a nice group. It's been wonderful. And so each month I tried to come up with topics that were pertinent to that time of the year. When it was conference time, we talked about conferences. When at the beginning of the year, we talked about class management and transitions, and just a bunch of different things that were, helpful at that point. And I always contacted the administrators with the topics that we were going to be talking about, because I wanted to have their input too, and I wanted them to know that what I was doing, I just wanted to make sure they knew that I knew what I was doing. But anyway, it's been a great learning experience for me, and I love getting to know these teachers. I'm very passionate about new teachers, and so I've said more than.
Thank you, Mr. Carver.
Thank you. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
That's it for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. French. Very good. Great program. Okay, we'll move on. We got a few donations to accept tonight. So recommendation to accept donations for 4 servers from Union Hospital, Terre Haute. What's 4?
Members
4
of the-
computer servers?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Members of the board,
Never on.
this meeting's going downhill.
Been one of those days.
Members of the board, these servers are being donated by Union Hospital. Will help us to save from purchasing replacement servers needed to provide backup and reconfiguration of our existing servers, and we ask your approval of those this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the donations from Union Hospital as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item. This is one that I have heard extensively about here lately.
We all have.
Yes. Vote no, right? No.
Yeah.
No, this is great. Recommendation to approve the high school marching band and guard field trip to Disney's Thanksgiving Day Parade from November, not March, November 25th, 2019 to November 30th, 2019. I caught that, didn't I? Trying to set me up.
Yo, you got the old version.
Oh, okay.
My fault.
All right.
Yeah, I got on mine says March 2.
Anything? Yeah. Go ahead.
So moved.
All right.
I was gonna say that. What more do I need to say?
I was going to say.
I'll second.
Board members get to go, right?
We gotta be careful.
Okay. I got a motion and a second to approve the field trip to for the band and guard to the Disney's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Any further discussion?
Do they have some fundraising ideas also? I noticed.
I
that's
think Erica's
big time.
going bonkers on fundraising
Fundraising for
ideas.
that,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get your wallets open, your purses
Good,
open.
good,
She'll be calling, knocking, emailing. You know.
It'll be a great experience.
Did they ever decide, I think we had like 4 seniors, are they going to be able to go, I know they're not going to be able to participate, but maybe walk along the side or something?
I'm still, there's a liability issue with that, and we're still checking with the legalities of it, because they're no longer students of ours during Thanksgiving time. Those seniors graduate in May, they're not, we have no responsibility for them. So for them to go as part of the group, we have to look at the liability issue, so we're checking into that right now.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. Field trip, well, yeah, trip approved.
Yep.
All right, last item for this evening is recommendation to approve transfer requests for the 2018-2019 school year.
Members of the board, we have 2 transfer requests for your approval this evening. One is from outside the district to move in, believe at the high school. And the other is the family moved within our district, but they want their child to stay at the current school for the remainder of the school year. Your approval of these 2 transfer requests is for you tonight.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the transfer request as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it, motion carries. That brings us to the conclusion of the regular portion of tonight's meeting. The last item this evening is our last comments from citizens period. If anybody in the audience would like to address the board on any topic, please rise and address the board. Hearing none, we'll close citizens' comments and conclude with superintendent comment, and then board member comment. First of all, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Ream. My prepared statements were very short, but as the meeting went on, I kept writing notes down, so bear with me for a moment, please. Emily, congratulations once again. This is awesome. Totally awesome, and we wish the best for you, and whatever we can do to help out, I'm sure we will all pitch in and help. Members of the board, the ISBA regional meeting is May 9th at Greencastle. I've got 3 of you that have mentioned that you'd like to attend. Let me know if you are, and I'll get those registrations put in. Update on our soccer project, just keep you in the loop on that. The bleacher installation is complete. We have bleachers out there now. The scoreboard installation is nearly complete. The posts are in, it's set in, and it's a matter of coordinating time with MSI to put the scoreboard up. The field will be pinned and goals will be, when I wrote my notes, the goals weren't on the field, but they're somehow got on the field today. They're not finalized yet. We still need to roll the field, get some of the hills and valleys, I guess, from the side rolled out. Last week we met with PSI and CRM to discuss the erosion issues caused by the rain, the snow, the rain, the monsoons, all that kind of stuff. Mother Nature has not been real kind to us on this soccer project, I can tell you that. The field looks great. The sod has taken hold. That's all good. It's just trying to get everything finalized. And we have come up with a plan to regrade, reseed the eroded areas as soon as Mother Nature cooperates. The areas around the competition field will also be reseeded, the sidelines, I guess, if you will. The practice fields are greening up very well, and hopefully we'll be ready to go by summer. They should be. And the competition field will be definitely ready for the season opener. So things are looking good. I'm very happy about that. Chris mentioned in his comments about Micah being involved in our meetings. Micah, it's an assignment for him. He is going through an internship, and part of his major project is sitting in on all the meetings to see how this type of project goes into place. So Micah's working on his EDS, and it's part of his internship. And finally, I go back, not quite as far as some, but quite a ways back, thinking back to my first year as a teacher. And this goes with this mentor program. When I first went into the classroom in high school, social studies class, I taught world civilizations. You know what my assignment was? Here's your book, teach. And I had 5 classes of 30+ kids. And I was a 22-year-old fresh out of college, and I had 17, 18-year-old kids in my classes. It was intimidating as all get out. I had nobody to go to. And what we're doing here with these folks is not only building bonds, building friendships, building compassion, and building trust, but we're keeping them, and and making things work for them. And all the thanks in the world go to Jenny French, Cheryl Crockett, all the mentors, new teachers. We're breaking the mold, if you will, of what used to, the thing used to be, new teachers always got the worst assignments, the worst kids, the worst classes, the worst classrooms, those kinds of things, but not anymore. And this program, for us, in my opinion, is what the education profession needs. Because if we don't protect our own, who will? And I applaud you for the work you're doing, so thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. We'll conclude with board member comment. First, Mr. Cool.
Congratulations on your trip. I hope you really enjoy it and get everything you can out of it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime trip stuff, and I'll be glad to see we're going to start putting the steel up at the gymnasium and stuff. And maybe it'll quit raining a little bit.
I hope so.
Thank you, Mr. Cool. Ms. Scrata.
Congratulations, Emily, and your parents as well. Very, very proud. Very proud. It was good to hear from our new teachers too. We're very fortunate here at South Vermillion to have such good teachers, veteran teachers that are willing to be involved in this. And we knew when we talked about it, you know, what positive things could come from it, and we're seeing them already. It was good to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Corrado. Mr. West.
Well, number one, Kelly, I like your color coordinated with your
I was just noticing that.
your drink bottle and your
You're observant. It's pretty observant, isn't it?
yeah, I sort of dressed down. I feel intimidated. Emily, fantastic. Quite a gift. I mean, these are the kind of things that, you know, you're blessed with. I can carry maybe something in a wheelbarrow, maybe a tune, maybe a note, I don't know, but you know, when you have something like this, you're blessed with. Fantastic. One of the other things that we need to think about here is this board, this corporation, we have supplied the technology in order for Mrs. Sellers and Mrs. Bars to do the things that they've done. And not every school corporation has that quality of people, that expertise, that professionalism, that drive and willingness to, you know, to commit. And then, you know, here again, we've got the technology available to do that. So I commend this board, you know, for the investments we've made and the commitments we've made. Because without all of that stuff, you know, the quality, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you, and thank you to Mrs. Sellers. You know, make sure she knows that too.
Thank you.
Kudos to our mentors. Really do appreciate it. God, if I'd asked who's going to stand up and do those kind of things, you people all come to mind. So thank you for the things you're doing. Great. Happy Easter.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. West. Mrs. Abbott?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to The Wizard of Oz. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think I was promised an honorary Munchkin card.
I was going to say, are you going to?
I think tonight I will go there.
We could probably arrange for you to fly if you want to fly.
We can still arrange that.
Yeah.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
We can still arrange that.
Yeah, we can make that happen. Hey, I know, that's fine.
And Emily, oh my gosh, I am so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. That is going to be an experience at your young age. How great. So really neat. And yes, I want to really emphasize my delight in the mentor program. I was a mentor way back in the old ages, where they actually, the state supported it, and we got a little bit of a stipend. So for those of you who do it anyway, without the stipend, and the fact that we picked it up since the state doesn't support it anymore, there was a phrase that one of the teachers said that really resounded with me. It was a big draw for me, one of the teachers said, and I thought, oh, wow, that is really good that we have that in place. Because the power, I think, is that just-in-time professional development. Some of the best professional development happens not from us bringing people in, but from our own colleagues sharing with each other. And to be able to, I need this information to get it, that is so powerful. So I'm really pleased with that. One question, do we, is it just 1 year, or are you going to try and do it for 2 years, or?
As long as they want to go, they can
So
keep going.
stay with their
yeah. So we had originally opened it up for first through third year teachers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if they want to stay with it for year
They
two,
could do another
they
year or
can.
two. Okay,
Yes.
good, good.
We won't kick them out.
Thank you, Mrs. Abbott. Dr. Hawkins?
I wish I'd have said what Bonnie said. That's
About the month.
Jess, Jess and Emily, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you because I know how complex that is for you, so I really appreciate that. And then I wanted to mention the math-a-thon. I read about the math-a-thon at Central. You guys raised $3,000. Was that it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah.
Great.
We had a very good turnout with that.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
yeah.
Can I say something to that? We actually, as a sponsor of the Alpha Club who sponsors that, we put the challenge out to the kids, and it was a couple second graders that, when we said what amount, they said $3,000, and you know, the two other sponsors and I are going, okay, we didn't want to
No
deflate their
pressure.
hopes, but we're like, okay, we'll go for it, and this will be a good learning lesson when we set goals. Well, then when they met it and broke the record too, it was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do next year? So it was thanks to a couple little second graders that had some big goals that we
Wow.
also got to meet that, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where leadership comes from, so that's really good. And the mentoring program, I ditto Bonnie's remarks. And I picked up on too, that was one of the reasons why I chose to come here, is because I knew you had that program. So I'm hoping that, that you folks who are being mentored would someday consider being mentors, because that's the way we grow. I just think it's a wonderful program. My question was, how many mentors and teachers were matched up?
How many do we have this year, Mrs. Crockett? First year teachers?
Oh gosh, I don't know, what, 7? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Probably around 7 or 8.
I didn't have any idea, so that's good. And I know when we talked about this, when you first went into it, about having some feedback and a history of evidence that you're doing well, so I really appreciate that. And I too am looking forward to the Wizard of Oz, and I'm not going to fly, I think. And have a happy Easter.
Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. Mrs. Hill?
I really think there's anything I can add
Yeah.
to that, but Emily, just awesome. Just so congratulations to you and your mom and dad. I mean, she's so proud, and I just can't wait to hear how that trip went.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Well, yeah, ditto, ditto, ditto. Congratulations, young lady. It's gonna be, well, I can't wait till you come back and tell us all about it. So we're looking forward to that. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Think about the people that have sung on the stage at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Easter, and good prom last weekend. Very successful.
Safe.
Yep, very safe. So heard all good stuff. So very good. Anything else? Otherwise, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Second. We stand adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Board members, executive session immediately following.